I feel safe assuming everyone in the audience tonight would like to be healthier and happier. Those are pretty universal goals. Well, what if I told you that a shockingly large amount of your everyday mood, energy levels, quality of your immune system, and general health are determined by the activities of over 38 trillion bacteria and yeast microorganisms in your gut? To illustrate how much that really is, your body is composed of about 37 trillion cells, meaning by cell count, you carry more bacteria cells than people cells. And to illustrate how immense 1 trillion is, 1 million seconds is about 12 days, 1 billion seconds is 31 years, and 1 trillion seconds is 31,688 years. That's a massive amount of cells. Your brain employs several neurochemicals produced by your gut microbiome to regulate both physical and mental functions like memory, mood, and learning. For instance, around 95% of your body's supply of serotonin is biosynthesized by your gut bacteria. It impacts both your mood and gastrointestinal activity. Around 40% of the hormones in your body are produced and modulated by your gut microbiome. These include melatonin, dopamine, norepinephrine and noradrenaline, GABA, and thyroid hormones. All of them are produced by your gut. In fact, many of the major modern health issues, like obesity, insomnia, anxiety, and depression, can be caused by deficiencies or irregularities in these hormone levels. In a study done by Cornell University, the brains and gut bacteria of 23 people diagnosed with chronic depression were scanned. The researchers found that those with a lower level of a type called Bacteroides bacteria had significantly higher association with severe depression, hyperactivity in the prefrontal cortex, which some researchers have associated with severe depression. The factors causing this disruption include widespread overuse of antibiotics, the modern Western diet being high in sugar but low in fiber, and can even be caused by whether or not you were born through cesarean section and whether or not you were breastfed as a baby. Antibiotics can be credited with extending the average human lifespan by over 23 years. Penicillin alone has saved hundreds of millions of lives. However, antibiotics are still relatively new, and they have a compound negative effect on gut diversity over generations. Since antibiotics kill most of the good and bad bacteria in your gut, this can leave space for opportunistic, unfavorable microorganisms to grow out of control and cause intestinal inflammation and other illness. In a study done by Stanford University, researchers scanned the gut bacteria of people before and after antibiotic treatment. They found that while after 4 weeks, most of your gut bacteria recovered to its original levels, several species of bacteria failed to recover even after 6 months to a full year had passed. The modern Western diet is high in processed sugar, but very low in fiber. This results in an atmosphere that encourages the growth of anti-inflammatory, sugar-consuming bacteria and limits the growth of beneficial fiber-consuming bacteria that are anti-inflammatory. Finished research shows that a diet high in sugar will change the gut microbiota and encourage the growth of a bacteria called bifidobacteria while decreasing anti-inflammatory bacteria. This issue becomes major when you consider the fact that 95% of Americans do not consume the daily 25 to 30 grams of fiber per day. Very few people get enough fiber. Even seemingly irrelevant practices to the gut, like delivery through cesarean section and whether or not you were breastfed, can greatly impact the quality and composition of your gut microbiome later in life. The earliest source of microbes in the human gut come from your mother, transferred through your passage through the birth canal, skin-to-skin contact, and breastfeeding. Consequently, the gut microbiota of children born through C-section has been observed by researchers from the University of Puerto Rico to more similarly resemble your human skin microbiome than the bacterial makeup of the birth canal. That's a big issue. All these practices, which decrease the biodiversity and quality of your gut, also pass on to the next generation. Each successive generation will have fewer species and lower levels of beneficial bacteria to pass on to the next one. This issue becomes dire when you consider that according to Michigan State University, around 70% of women are prescribed antibiotics during pregnancy. These are, each dot, I don't know if you can see really, but each dot represents a different major bacteria species. There's just an immense amount. You may have heard, most of us were told as children, at least, that the appendix is entirely useless. It either serves no function at all or is just a mystery to scientists. Well, there is some significant evidence that the appendix may act as a sort of preserve or backup for the composition of your gut microbiome in the event that it is disrupted. Located close to the GI tract, where all the gut bacteria live, the appendix is inhabited by a diverse array of beneficial microorganisms. In a study done by Xiamen University in China, researchers sampled and analyzed the gut bacteria of 40 healthy people, half of which had undergone appendectomy, no appendix. The group with their appendixes showed significantly higher microbial diversity in their guts, even 5 years after the appendectomies had occurred. Until about 10,000 years ago, all of humanity relied solely on a hunter-gatherer lifestyle as their only method of obtaining food. This means that we have only employed agriculture for 4% of our history. The other 96% of human existence, we were hunter-gatherers exclusively. The average hunter-gatherer is estimated by researchers at Duke University to have consumed about 100 grams of fiber per day, more than 3 times the daily recommended amount for modern people. Even if we were to eat this much fiber, our guts are no longer bacterially diverse enough to ferment it all into energy. A study investigating the gut microbiota of hunter-gatherer groups was done by researchers at Mount Sinai Medical School on the Yanomami tribe in the Amazon rainforest. The Yanomami tribe were uncontacted until the 1960s, and they still follow semi-nomadic hunter-gatherer lifestyles, very similar to those of our ancestors. The Yanomami tribe also possessed the most microbially diverse gut microbiomes of any known human group. Multiple samples were taken from members of the tribe, and the microbial diversity of the average tribal member was nearly 50% more than the average American. A similarity can be found in the Papua New Guinean Asaro tribe, studied by microbiologists from the University of Alberta. Multiple samples were taken from Asaro tribe members and 20 samples were taken from Asaro tribe members and compared to 20 Americans. After comparison, there were roughly 47 species in the Asaro hunter-gatherer gut microbiome that were absent in the Americans they tested. In sharp contrast to the American gut, only possessed 4 species absent in the Papua New Guinean microbiome. If more research could be done to uncover the various ways in which our modern lifestyles impact your gut, perhaps many of the major modern health issues could be resolved. Considering 17% of American women over 18 and 24% of women over 60 use SSRIs, perhaps enriching the gut's natural ability to produce vital neurochemicals could help improve both people's physical and mental health without the need for pharmaceutical drugs. Methods of doing this include increasing your fiber intake to 25 to 30 grams per day, decreasing your added sugar intake to no more than 30 grams per day, and eating probiotic foods that are fermented and full of live cultures, such as yogurt, sauerkraut, and kimchi. Research from Cambridge University points to live cultured food being more beneficial for your gut bacteria than the probiotic supplements can be. And research from Iran shows that eating a plant-based diet may benefit the gut microbiome as well. I sincerely hope that a few of you can implement a few of these concepts into your everyday lives. It may improve both your physical and mental well-being. Thank you so much for listening.